The DA, the courtroom, probation, they'll have you signing your life away because you want to go home. Trust me, I've been there. I've lived it. I know exactly what it feels like when you're in that courtroom. They slide that paper to you and they want you to sign here. Here's something they do not tell you. If you stick around to the end, I'll tell you how I got finessed into signing 10 years silent and getting 10 years straight up.
We ain't hooked on dope, we hooked on growth.
I was a dumbass when I was 20 years old, signed on some crazy time, and had to do a lot of time. And there's lots of different ways that the court system can get you. So if you're facing court, or if you're curious and you just want to be cautious and you want a couple tips before you go to court, watch this video. So people get this confused, so I'm just going to lace you up. The difference between jail and prison: when you commit a crime, get arrested, you go to jail.
Okay, I give up. Are you done? Are you done? I'm done. Oh, you're hurting me. I'm scared. I want to go to jail, man.
Well, now you are going to go to jail.
Not prison, off the rip. You'll go to a magistrate, go before a judge. They will give you a bail.
Shut your ass up.
You will then have the opportunity to make bond. If you can't make bond, then you'll catch a chain to the main jail. That's how they do it in my city. Sometimes you just go straight to the jail, but, you know, depends where you're at. Anyways, in jail, that is where you will wait to appear in court, take a deal, probation, or maybe case dismissed, or you await trial. And trial can go from anywhere from 6 months to a year, 2 years, and up. I believe the longest you can be housed in county jail is up to 5 years. Murder cases and stuff like that, they're sitting there for a hot minute. You feel me? Or you can take the deal, go straight to prison. It's up to you, whatever your case, depending on the case, evidence, things of that nature. Once your case is finally figured out, where you get a conviction,
we, the jury, find as follows as the count 1 of the indictment: first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Mrs. Adelson, control yourself.
You're going to prison. You're doing time. So jail and prison are different. Now, I will say jail, it sucks. So boring. You're usually confined to a small area and you will not move around. They bring the trays to you. The rec yard is either in the dorm or on the hall. You're not really going to rec if it's not within your block, which sucks. So you're just doing push-ups under the stairs. You never leave. You never get to move around. That's why a lot of people want to hurry up and take their time if they know they're going to do time to get comfortable, because in jail it's stressful, dude. You're stressing the entire time, honestly. Unless you just know you're going for a long time, you don't care. Most of the time you're like, God, I hope I get a good deal. I want to get out. You got family, you got a girl who's gonna wait on you, kids, family. You're fresh out the street. You know what I'm saying? People would joke and be like, man, you still got double cheeseburgers in your stomach, man. Shut up. When they cry about their time and shit. What if, like maybe shit. This, and that can stress you the fuck out. So once that's all said and done, regardless if you get little time, a lot of time, when you get to the prison, state penitentiary, you can get situated and wherever you're gonna be, do your time. The longer that you're in there, the more comfortable you get. Your body will adapt, your mind will adapt, and that's what we want. It's so much easier of a time when you're in prison because you get to go outside, you'll get a job, you'll go to class, you'll get to walk to chow. There's many things that you can do in prison you can't do in jail. So, and especially if your girlfriend just hurries up and she breaks up with you, because most of the time they're not going to hold you down. Some do. Some are loyal as fuck. Most of the time, just let that go, bro. Hurry up and get that over with. I know we never do, but that's always the best bet.
For cause, find the defendant, Diana Jean Lovejoy, guilty of the crime of attempted murder.
Verdict form. We, the jury, find the defendant, Alfred Flores, not guilty of the offense of murder as charged in count 1 of the indictment in cause number 2023 CR.
Courthouses are slick. DAs can be super slick. That's why they're assigned. They're trying to get time. That's what they're there for. They want to convict you. They want to slam your ass with the biggest amount of time possible. It's not really about rehabilitation or fucking anything like that. It's all about how much time can I give this POS, and let's see if we'll get him to sign on this. Let's see if we can get him to sign on this. How about this? Let's see if he signs on that. That's how it is, basically. Real shit. They're not thinking, well, how can we help this guy to make sure he doesn't commit this crime no more? No, that's not fucking happening. Trust me. They do not give a shit about you. They only care about their numbers. Maybe next voting season or whatever the fuck, however they call it, they want to make sure they got the best stacked record for most convictions, most time sentenced to felons, etc. It's a bunch of BS. That's why a lot of people, if they get arrested, they know they're guilty. They don't really care. They'll sign so they can hurry up and get to state prison or wherever they're going, so they can hurry up and do their thing, move around. I know that was what it was for me when I was doing time. But if you're lucky, you got money.
Yeah, we just built you up, bro. What's up?
Come on, man.
No, we just built you up.
But why? I ain't got nowhere to go. I'm homeless.
Oh, come on, what's up? What happened?
Nah, man. Why you bailing me out, though?
I'm saying we do like goofy bills and stuff.
I
Relax.
ain't got nowhere to go. I got nowhere to sleep. Well, it's cold out here.
Something to eat.
Find a place how you can get me back in there. I want to go back in.
Okay.
Obviously, because so you can make bond. Because that is obvious. The best possible outcome is to be on the streets, going to court. The best way you can do it. So make sure you got your money in bond if you're out there committing crimes and such. So the bond system, you already know, that's easy. It's 10%. Some bail bonds, they'll do 2%, and you pay the rest while you're out on bond. There is stipulations with bond, depending on where you get bond, what your charges. They can put you on house arrest. You could have a pre-trial probation, all that stuff. But here's the deal. So you go to your first court hearing. You're going to either have a court-appointed attorney, which you're going to need to fill out paperwork for, or you're going to have a paid attorney. Obviously, the best scenario would be to have a paid attorney. The court-appointed attorney works in that courtroom for the most part. They're familiar with the DA. They interact with them on a daily basis. So this can go both ways. One, he knows the DA. He likes you for some reason. He's going to cut for you. He's going to go talk to him. Hey, man, this is somebody I want to work with. Sometimes I know that they throw money under the table. You know what I mean? Hey, man, I'll throw you $500 because this happened. And that'd be cool. You can finesse that. That happens. But most of the time, they're basically working with the DA. And they don't give a shit about you either. That's why it's super beneficial to get a paid attorney. But they're always going to come at you and they're going to be like, all right, well, I explained the situation and they ain't trying to budge. It's not looking good. They got a whole bunch. They don't even got the discovery yet, bro. He don't even know because you're going to need a discovery. That's why it's good to learn about how this shit works. File your motion for discovery. File your motion for dismissal. File a motion to suppress evidence. All that shit. And if you don't know this, you're going to go there. They're not going to mention none of this shit to you. And that's vital to remember. But he's not going to be like, hey, man, they're offering 10 years. You're going to be like, what? Hell no, I ain't taking that. Nah. Or you're going to be like, that's what I would say. You're going to be like, oh my God, really? I got to take 10 years, Mom. What do I do? Hurry up, give it to me. They're going to give me worse time. Just don't do that. Relax, bro. Calm down, dude. You're not thinking clearly. You're scared. Yes, that's a big number. It's a lot of time, but freaking relax. You need to figure out what type of evidence they got against you. So right when you first get there, if they throw a number at you, do not take it. You're not going to take that time. You're going to be like, you don't have to be disrespectful. Fuck that time. You ain't going to do that either. What you're going to tell your lawyer is going to go, I need my motion for discovery, please. I need to see what type of evidence they have. And then you go from there to decide if there's more motions you want to request. And that's a good thing. ChatGPT will help you with your case. I'm just letting you know. But you want to file that first. Look at the evidence. See what you got. Some cases, you don't really got a lot of evidence. Yes, you might have felt that you did it. And depending on if you open your mouth and just completely told on yourself or...
Yeah, I did. I did.
You know what? Let's do this.
I did it, but...
Maybe you remained silent, didn't say shit. You got a case. Alright? There might be... Because you got to think, if you go to trial, you have to convince 12 jurors without a reasonable doubt. That means that they cannot have any doubt that you did it. Every single person on that jury has to agree, or you get not guilty. I don't know if you know that. I didn't know that, but every single one of them has to have a unanimous decision, basically. So a lot of times the court systems do not want to go to trial. That's a fun fact. They do not want to go to trial. It costs thousands of dollars to put you through trial. So get your discovery. See what type of evidence you got. If you can't afford a lawyer, at least talk to somebody, call somebody that you may know, or they give you free, what's it called? I can't think of what that shit's called. The consultation with the lawyer. They'll tell you what you're looking at, what you should do if they're nice. You just gotta call a bunch of lawyers, man. Some are money-hungry bastards, and some actually are cool and they'll lace you up and help you out. And a lot of times they'll do that in hopes that you'll take them in as a client. But don't take the first deal. Now, the difference between being on the street, going to court, and being in jail, obviously you're hoping that you can get probation or something, right? And that's where they get you. This is the slick thing that they pull. Is because honestly, your charge probably should get you 6 months probation, maybe just some community service or whatever, dog. But you're thinking, man, I want to go home so bad, so they offer you 10 years probation, and you're like, fuck it, I'll be a good boy, and you take it. But that's how they get you, man. That's why it's really beneficial to do bond, or just to shit your ass, bro. Shit your motherfucking ass down somewhere. Think about the long haul, bro. You don't want to do no 10 years probation when you probably could get 1 year if you just sit a minute and wait, all right? But nobody wants to do that, I know. Nobody wants to sit in the county. They want to get the fuck out of there. So don't take your first offer. You hear that all the time. But also, let me give you a tip. You don't want to go in there saying, fuck that offer. You know what I mean? You want to have reason. Look, I need to check into my case. I haven't had my discovery yet. And you can mention motions to your lawyer. And let's say your lawyers, you can always have this in the tuck. Man, my lawyer's not working for me. I need a new lawyer. And you can request for a different counsel. That will prolong your sentencing. If you're going to prison, but they're offering you 20 years, and you're like, man, fuck, I'm not signing that. You know what I mean? You don't want to just tell them, fuck you, I'm not taking that, but you want to be slick with it. So there's different avenues. And just look into that, bro. What are you going to say if they offer you some BS time? Be ready. Look, my lawyer's not helping me. I haven't got my discovery. I'm gonna get a new lawyer. I need time to get the money together. There's so many different loopholes and things you can look into that I'm not gonna waste time on talking about it right now. Maybe another video. What I'm saying is they're always gonna offer you something ridiculous. No matter what you did, bro. Very rarely are you getting a badass deal. And if you're getting a badass deal off the rip, there's probably something that you don't even realize or didn't know that you could probably beat the case in entirety, completely thrown out. And they're just hoping you take this deal and notices about it. Always keep this in mind. The DA wants to fuck you over. So there is no good deal. There's a reason behind it all. Look into your case. Don't just sit in jail playing cards, all that dumb shit. Go to law library. It's very important, bro. I don't know why people don't do that. I didn't do it initially just because I didn't know, you know. So there's different things that they're going to offer you. They're very slick with this probation, adjudicated probation. Now, they always come at you and be like, look, man, they're offering you 10 years probation. It's adjudicated. Meaning, they're going to, if you follow through, you complete probation, you're good. They're going to completely take it off your record. But what the lawyer fails to tell you is, if you do anything wrong and you mess this case up, there's no trial. You are basically signing guilt. You will get a maximum sentence upon revocation. Now, so that's where it's not a good deal, bro. Because you're thinking, fuck, I get this one probation. I can get this dropped off my record. But it leaves it open and they're going to fucking slam dunk you in court. So it's not always a smart move. It really is not. What they can do is give you a conviction with probation. All right, so if you get the conviction and you take probation, that means there's a cap. All right, so there's like a certain amount of time they can only give you. Now, I know felonies, first degree felonies, 5 to 99, class Bs, 2 to 20, class 2 to 10. So if you're adjudicated, you're gonna get the max, bro. They're gonna give you 10 or 20 or whatever, dog. But if you get a conviction and you sign on a probation, it will always come allotted with a certain set of time that you'll get if you fuck up. 2 years or 3, something smaller. So you get the conviction, but you don't have to worry down the road if you fuck up. They're not gonna slam dunk you. You already know what you're getting, but you gotta get the conviction. I'll remind you, if you're in jail, man, they got you, bro. You just want to get out of there. So they're always going to offer you some BS. You're facing time. You're in the streets. Your shit's getting continued over and over again. They offer you this number. You're like, fuck that. I'm not taking that. You're not sure if you can win in trial. You can take it all the way to the end, basically. So they're going to offer you a time. You're going to say, no, I'm not signing that. You're gonna go again. I think it's 3 offers. I could be wrong, and every state has different statutes, and you know what I mean? But you're finally gonna get the offer, It's this or trial. There's a couple ways you could swing this, bro. If they offer you, let's say, most of the time, it's gonna be some super high amount of probation, right? And your case is weak, you probably could beat it, but you're thinking your first offer was 10 years prison, so you're like, man, at least I'm getting probation, and you take it, right? But sometimes you can push the envelope and be like, you know what? Run that shit. We're going to trial. And what's going to happen? They're going to be like, is he serious? He's not taking that probation? Your court appointer's going to be like, he's not taking it. I tried to get him. I told him what you told me to tell you. He don't give a shit. He's taking it to trial. I guess he's been researching his case and he knows a little bit. I don't know. You might want to give him a better time. That's when they're finally going to be like, here, give him some better. All right, give him this. Or they're going to be like, fuck, let's run that shit. Let's go. All right? So that's the risk you have to take. But typically what happens, I swear to you, I've always seen this, right before trial, they're going to give you another offer in hopes that they don't have to pay all that money to go to trial. And it's going to be your best offer yet. They're going to drop it down a class, give you a lower, and it's always your best deal. That's when you're going to get your best deal. But it really all depends on how much evidence they have against you. If you're just straight fucking guilty, they got you, they're not worried about it, they're laughing at you for taking it to trial, they're not gonna give you no deal. So you got to keep that in mind, bro. It depends on your evidence. By now, I'm hoping that you've looked at your discovery. You already figured out what points you're gonna make in trial, etc. You're kind of throwing the information at your lawyer. Yeah, tell them about this so that they know that you're aware. Because there's little things that can make it in trial that will work. Because let me also tell you this: if you take it to trial, and this is for really any case, and you're found guilty, this is when you're gonna get the very max, guaranteed. Especially for the murder cases. This is why you hear people that got 85, they got 90, I got 99, because they're gonna give you the max number for taking a trial. I don't know why that always happens, but I always hear the people with those crazy high numbers took it to trial and I lost. And honestly, who wants to take a 35-year sentence? Who wants to sign for that shit, right? Fuck that, I ain't signing that. But think about it, you lose trial, you're getting 90. Might as well take that 40 piece. There's way more things to mention, but I figured I'm already getting over my time here. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comments below. I'll share my experience. And before I go, I'm gonna tell you what happened to me one time. I was a dumbass. First time I was on bond and I signed on a 10-year silent. 10-year silent means it's either 10 years probation or 10 years prison, but it's up to the judge. So a lot of people think the judge is gonna look out for them, or who knows, bro, but most of the time that's not the case. So I thought that the judge would have mercy on me. He would give me probation. I went through a pre-sentence investigator. I had to go through all these processes and procedures, and long story short, I got 10 years. So that was my first time ever committing a felony, and I got 10 years, y'all. So bam! Be careful, don't get bedazzled or fedazzled or whatever the fuck you want to call it. They'll get you. Like I said, the DA don't give a shit about you. They just want to hang your ass. Hey, please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, put the notifications on, because I'll be bringing some more content straight at you. Because we ain't hooked on dope. We hooked on growth. Play. Peace.
We ain't hooked on dope. We hooked on growth.